Hi, my name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. Today we welcome back my daughter from a camp called Love Begins Here that's run through the Catholic Church. And what this camp is that high school age kids go and stay in a community in Wisconsin, so somewhere near home. In this case they were in Wisconsin Dells, and they do service work for a week. In this case they were helping with residents at a nursing home. They performed activities with them, also did some light maintenance around that as well, and to the host church. They did some light groundskeeping and housekeeping and stuff like that too. So it's a very beautiful thing, and she's been participating for a number of years. And I really like that it's called Love Begins Here because it emphasizes the idea of helping in your community and looking for people that are in need around you, not somewhere far away necessarily, although my kids are going to Mexico in August to help build homes for people outside of Tijuana, a different sort of missionary work, but in this case it's somewhere close. And they've had this program in previous years in Monroe and in Beloit and other communities in southern Wisconsin. I think it's a really beautiful thing, and I think it's important to emphasize the title, Love Begins Here, because I think that's true, and it's also somewhat of a libertarian idea, not to co-opt it, but libertarianism in its very essence champions the idea that people make the most difference and are the most free and prosperous and happy when they're acting and carrying out their charitable activities and their support for their their neighbors and friends in their own communities, and not shipping off money to the state or to the federal government, having that being redistributed in that way. That there's a lot more power, there's a lot more love, there's a lot more effectiveness, a lot more efficiency in doing things directly, and a lot more dignity in it too. I would also argue that while libertarianism doesn't automatically encompass Austrian economics, that most people who are libertarians also subscribe to Austrian economics. Now, Austrian economics, as opposed to what is generally practiced by the United States government and around the world, stands for honoring the fact that people make decisions, freely made decisions, when they purchase goods and services and when they trade and exchange, and that's the important part of the economy, not the planning, because you can't plan what human beings are going to do on a daily basis. It never has worked really very well, obviously. Witness the business cycle, which happens when people try to plan economies, booms and busts. That's part of the economic system that we're enduring in Western society right now. It doesn't prevent it, it actually causes it, but that's a different story. But Austrian economics is about human action, as Ludwig von Mises wrote about, and it honors the idea that people, when they freely exchange goods and services, when they buy and sell freely without coercion, that's the way to not only increase prosperity, but it also increases happiness for people because they're not coerced into buying things. The market isn't skewed, and people are free to do as they choose, to work as hard as they want, to freely exchange or not buy, and to freely choose among products and services in the marketplace, and not be told what they should buy or have products or services automatically disqualified based on some political qualifications that the majority might think of. So I think the idea of Love Begins Here is an inherent thread in the best part of libertarianism. Both people acting charitably, helping in their neighborhoods, and also freely buying goods and services, and the idea of profit being that people both sides of a freely exchanged good or service, both sides benefit. And so that's freedom, that's prosperity, and that's privacy because the government is not involved. So welcome home, Sasha. Glad that you're back, and we'll talk to you all again tomorrow. Good night.